Hello all, hope everyone is doing well. In today's session, we will be discussing on the topic resources. I hope you all have heard about the term resources. So what do you think is a resource? Before coming to that, do you think anything and everything around us is useful to us? Yes, isn't it? These things used by us is of some use and is of certain value. For example, food, clothes, furniture, books, and even medicines. All of these have some use and is worthy, right? So, resources can be defined as any element of the environment which has both usability or is of any use and has a value is called a resource. Now, these resources are of different types, or I could say they can be classified as natural, human made, and human resources. From the name itself, you might have understood or got a basic idea of what are these, right? Now, let's see what are these in detail in the next slide. What is the very first classification, that is natural resources. What is natural resource? It is nothing but any substances that is occurring naturally and that can be used in its unmodified form. That means anything that can be used in its original form and which are valuable and useful to us are called natural resources. These natural resources can be further divided into four: on the basis of its development, on the basis of its origin, on the basis of its renewability, and on the basis of its distribution. Let's see what are these one by one. On the basis of development, the natural resources are again classified into actual and potential. What is actual resource? Any resource that are already being utilized by humans at present are called actual resource. Any resource that are already being utilized by humans at present are called the actual resource. For example, the coal deposits of Chota Nagpur Plateau and the petroleum oil field of Mumbai High. These are examples of actual resources, wherein potential resources are the resources that are present around us but may be used only in the future, because they cannot be used at present due to the lack of infrastructure or development or technology. For example, the Gulf of Kutch, the Gulf of Kambat near the coastline of Gujarat, they have a huge potential for generating tidal energy. But India is yet to set up a plant that can harness the energy. But maybe in the future, we might set up a plant there and start generating these energy. Okay, they are called the potential resources. Now, on the basis of origin, the natural resources are again classified into biotic and abiotic. Biotic is nothing but living things or the resources from the living things. Example, plants and animals. These are biotic resources, wherein abiotic resources is just the opposite to biotic, which is non-living resources. For example, water, rocks, land. These are all abiotic resources. Now, on the basis of renewability, again the natural resources are classified into two: renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources are nothing but resources that can be renewed or it does not get exhausted. Okay, it is unlimited in the nature, are called renewable resources. For example, I could say solar energy, tidal energy, wind energy. These are all inexhaustible, right? So they are called renewable resources. Wherein non-renewable resources are just the opposite again, wherein these resources gets exhausted, okay? Or maybe it will take a long time to form. So they are called non-renewable resources. For example, petroleum, natural gas, coal. All these are non-renewable resources. Now, on the basis of distribution, the natural resources are again classified into ubiquitous and localized. Ubiquitous, the word itself means existing everywhere. So, the resources that are available everywhere are called ubiquitous. For example, air, sunlight. These are examples of ubiquitous resources. Wherein localized resources are the resources that can be found only in certain places. Okay, for example, gold, silver. These cannot be found everywhere, right? So they are called localized resources. So under the resources, the second classification is human-made resources. So what is human-made resources? From the name itself, you might have understood. Any resource which is made by humans from the natural resources are called human-made resources. For example, the roads, yeah, any construction, the buildings, any infrastructure made by human, that is called human-made resources. But how did they make it? Everything was made from the natural resources, so they are called human-made resources. So human beings have used their technology, their skills to convert all these natural resources into some or the other useful products. So they are called the human-made resources. So the last classification under resources is the human resource. Humans are the most important resource. No substance in the nature can be a resource by itself. It only becomes a resource when it is put to use by us through knowledge, skills and technology. So education and good health have helped human beings to become a valuable resource. Therefore, any country everywhere in the world who wants to progress must take good care of both the natural and human resources. So till now we have learned different types of resource, how it has been classified, few examples of all these resources, and on the basis of what it has been classified, right? Now, is it important to conserve or to protect these resources? Yes, isn't it? Now, all the scientific and technological progress has enabled the human beings to utilize all these natural resources at an alarming rate, okay, to a point where they get or will get exhausted in the near future. So, it is very important to carefully use it without wasting them in a manner that it gets exhausted before being renewed. Now, this process is called conservation of resources. That means using natural resources carefully without wasting them in any manner that they get exhausted before being renewed is called conservation of resources, right? Now, all resources are not inexhaustible, isn't it? So they should be used with caution. Why should we use it with caution? And judicious usage is very important. Why is it so? Because the future of the earth depends on a judicious use of resources. It is not only for us, it has to be used for the future generations as well. Don't you think, children? Yes. So careful, judicious usage of resources is very important for the future generations, right? Can you all see this picture here in the slide? Yes, I have two questions for you. Which source of energy is being used here? And how does this energy help in the conservation of the environment? Do put up the answers in the comment section of this video. That's the end of the topic for the day. Do let me know in comments if you have any doubts on this topic. See you all with another video. Till then, bye-bye children.